Hello! Welcome to Go Get That Rose. I do not have the music that I realized last week. I also didn't have the intro music, but that's okay. I am your host, Sarah. I don't have Jay Wade again this week. He's kind of the tech guy who does all this, so I'm trying my best. But I do have Marie Wilson with me. Hello, Marie. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you so much. Glad to be back.
Yes, thank you so much for coming back. Last week I did it by myself, and it was interesting. And then Jay was like, "Oh, Marie's going to be with you this week," and I was like, oh, "Perfect, like good," because I don't think I could talk about this episode by myself. Like I really couldn't.
Yeah.
But we were talking before the show our thoughts on this episode, and I'll just say I thought it was a really weird episode. The dates were really weird. And I was saying, like, I felt like they really marketed this episode to be, like, this shocking 5 guys self-eliminate, kind of like Colton season, where, like, all the girls just kept leaving. Like, that's what I thought we were going to get. And it wasn't. It wasn't like that at all. What did you think about this episode?
I thought that it was, I watched it kind of broken up. I didn't get to watch it all at the same time last night.
Okay.
So I watched some of it last night and some of it today, but it still felt very, like I said, that group date was just so bizarre. Like they had one intention going in, and that's not what happened.
It was so weird.
And then, like, to have the marriage thing be like the wedding, the vows, and all that, to be a one-on-one, and that it was a lot. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was really heavy.
Yeah,
it was weird. Let's start with the one-on-one, because I felt like it was really reminiscent of when they did it with Tayshia and Zach the last season with Franco, and I kind of thought that's where they were going to go with, and I was like, okay, that's a cute idea. I still thought that was kind of weird, but also I felt like that was more. It had this more drama to it because they were both married before, and it had a different weight for them. And this time, like, and even Katie asked Justin, like, have you ever proposed or been close to proposing? And he was like, no. Like, it was really weird. They didn't do, like, the photo shoot thing. It was, they wrote vows for each other.
Yeah.
She walked down the aisle. They literally said the vows and, like, kissed. Like, it was so weird. I was like, I didn't even write vows. Like, me and my husband didn't write vows for each other. It's a lot of, like, oh, I feel like I froze. Oh, no. Well, this happens all the time.
Oh, no.
Anyway, we're just going to go without the camera. Well, I'm just going to keep talking. Okay. I feel like writing vows is a lot of pressure on people, especially 2 people who it's their first date and first time really spending by themselves. So I thought that was really weird.
Yeah, it definitely was. Are you there? Oh.
There we go. All right.
Okay. Because the other one, the one with Tayshia, was all about, like, it was a photo shoot, and so it was kind of a there was a
purpose,
and there was drama behind them having been married before, but there was also, it was fun, and it was light because they were having fun doing
with each other,
and this was very, like, serious vows, and they were written such that it really felt like they were getting married.
Real vows.
They were real. Like, that was so weird.
Yeah, I was expecting, like, them to be a little bit more jokey, but they, like, took it really serious, and, like, even Franco, the photographer, was like, you need to wow her. This needs to be the best thing you've ever written, the best thing she's ever heard. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's so much pressure. I feel like it could have been a cute group date if you like did it more like a competition, like who could write the best vows. Like I think that could be like cute or cheeky. This is just awkward. Like it's just the two of them reading these like beautiful things that they're saying to each other. I was like, I mean, I was tearing up. I was like, these are beautiful, but it's really awkward. Like, really
Agreed. Agreed.
Especially like I love the dress. I love the like back, her like wedding dress with the back like jewel or whatever. And she looked beautiful walking down. But also like I think she said it brought up a lot of emotions for her on the group date, or not on the group date, at the later part when she was talking about like her dad passing away and her biological father and all that kind of like what she was just feeling about that. And for me, like, I kind of feel like this date kind of took away for how serious it was. It kind of took away that like first moment of her putting on this is her first time putting on a wedding dress or walking down the aisle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of just took that away from them for a date. Like, I don't know. I think that's awful.
I mean, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but definitely, because she's already like getting really upset about what the future might hold with her dad not being there and like walking down the aisle without him, and like that's really heavy.
I was like, I don't know. It didn't hit for me. It was kind of, I think I understood what they were going for. I think they were just trying to make it was just way too serious. Like if it was a little bit more fun, maybe like a Mad Lib, like they got to fill in the blanks and like say it to each other. Like that could have been cute. But it was like, bare your soul to this person. Y'all are actually married now. Like it was crazy. What do you think about Justin?
I thought that his reaction to her spilling her guts was not as empathetic as it could have been. I feel like, I don't know, like I don't remember specifically what he said, but it seemed more generic than focusing.
Probably didn't know what to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a lot. It's like, oh, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I did think it was interesting how she went into the bit about her having an adoptive father, but she didn't go into that when she was on the fishing date, did she?
No, I think this is the first time we've heard that her biological father is still alive. Because every time she's brought up her father, she just talked about how he's passed. And this is the first time she said that it was her adoptive father.
So I don't know if it was the wedding aspect of the date that brought it out, or if it was Justin that brought it out. Like,
it was very interesting. I don't think we didn't really hear anything from him though, right? Like he didn't share anything after that about his. Yeah, it just
nope.
It was Katie's time, which I mean that's okay. But for me, that kind of maybe brings like she's really comfortable with him and more like friendship if she was able to like just kind of share all that with him. And I mean, maybe he probably did talk more to her about him that we just didn't see. But I don't know. He seems like a kind of quiet, more reserved guy. Yeah. Just very chill. He seems very stressed out. I felt really bad for him. Like, that's crazy. Like, they haven't spent any one-on-one time together. Now he's got to say, like, I'll be with you until the end. And I promise to cherish you every morning. I was like, what? This is wild. Like, but yeah, I mean, I like him more. I don't think I liked him at the beginning. I've liked him as it's gone on with his like eyebrows and all his reaction.
Yeah.
But if he shows up in Paradise, I'll be happy. I think he'll do really well in Paradise. I just don't see him and Katie ending up together.
And I did think it was a little, it was interesting that he didn't have a big story to share in response. Cause I feel like most of the other guys have these crazy stories to share in response,
chill.
but he was just didn't.
And that's okay.
It's totally. Not everybody has to have like a traumatic past.
Yeah.
I mean, that's perfectly okay. But it was definitely
it was a little
different.
odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think we've really ever seen on. Now I haven't seen on these 101 the night portions the lead being the one that's talking about themselves and not the contestant, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's a good
point.
point.
We're learning more about Katie than most of the guys this season. Like,
yeah,
because we didn't have a chance to on Matt's season, and they're just giving us everything. And it's like they're just putting it in as much as they can.
Right.
Okay, we can talk about the group. So that date was weird. Then it was the group date, which was really, and I was saying that I was like distracted by, I was on my phone and stuff like that. So I thought I missed them explaining what the date was, but apparently like it just didn't work the way they wanted it to.
Yeah.
I think we had two beautiful drag queens, as Michael said, and we love it. And it was great. Yeah. And they were there to help the guys roast each other, throw shade, essentially roasting each other. Yeah. And the guys are just not into it, which is really weird. I'm like, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, like
That's what guys do.
There was I can't remember whose season it was, but there was something like this. It may have been
Claire.
Tayshia or Claire. Claire.
And she got mad because they just kept roasting Dale.
Yes. So like that one worked out exactly like it was supposed to. Like you had the guys on the date who all roasted each other, and then you had the guys who weren't on the date who were watching it.
Yes.
And this was just like all the guys were there except two.
Yeah, and it's really weird.
And so there was no audience, and they didn't, and I don't feel like the drag queens really explained well, at least what we saw, what they wanted them to do, because they kept saying throw shade, but like, what?
How do you just start? Yeah, you don't throw shade by just like standing up there like in a line. Like it's when you're like talking in a normal conversation and you just start being shady. Like I was like, they had them all standing like behind podiums.
Yeah. And they called it the Great Royal Debate or whatever.
Yeah. So then they start calling it a debate. And I'm like, what? I don't know. And they're asking them questions, and then Greg's reading a poem that he wrote. They're answering questions. And the drag queens keep yelling at them like, oh, you're going to roast each other. And I think everyone was just really confused. I think that was the thing. And then there's a whole drama with Hunter kind of. I really don't think Hunter really did anything wrong. I don't know. I feel like the past couple seasons they've been trying desperately to get a villain, and there isn't any like there really hasn't been any like classic villains for like a while. They're just all kind of people that like they're trying to make them seem shady, but they're really not. I mean, that's how I feel. I don't think Hunter's terrible.
I think maybe he was because he did change what he said.
Yes.
But it may have been because they were leading him.
Yes.
Like in questioning, like leading questions to get him to answer a certain way.
Yeah.
And because when Trey was overhearing him, he clearly said, no, we don't know each other well enough for me to be falling for her. Like that's not at all. And then when he was in front of everybody, he's like, I'm falling for her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I was like, what? No, you just said. So like
that is true.
That was a clear change.
Yeah.
So I get why, although Trey apparently has a really bad memory for what, or maybe he didn't hear it that clearly, because I feel like he could have word for word said what Hunter said outside to compare it, but he was real vague about it. And I'm like, did he just barely hear it? Or I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird. The whole date was weird. All the drama was weird. I mean, yeah, it was just kind of, they start going back and forth with the drama of Hunter, and all the guys were so focused. All of them, I mean, Aaron, James, Trey, who all got sent home. And they were just so focused. And I think it was Trey that was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have spent all this time talking about other people. I should have focused on my relationship. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. They kept talking about how in the beginning of the episode, you overhear Hunter talking about like the top four and him being in top 4. And which I was like, buddy, you're not in the top 4. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, and just they kept saying that he was like the Bachelor historian, the super fan. Which I was like, if he were a super fan, I think he would know how to play the game a little bit better. But I don't know. That's just me. But they kept like bringing that up and throwing that in his face, and yeah, I don't know. I think he also got treated a little bit unfair. I mean, last week he kind of got on my nerves, but I don't think he was as bad as they were really trying to get him out. And then they all left. They all got sent home.
Yeah.
Did you think it was weird that she pulled him aside at the rose ceremony? Like, she starts the rose ceremony, calls Hunter, and says, "Can we go talk outside?"
After she told all of them that she knows what she's gonna do.
Yeah.
And
it was like, really weird.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you do that? Like, did you just... And the conversation wasn't even anything important. It was the same conversation that they had on the group date when she like left and went to go throw up, which, girl, I feel you. I also throw up in nervous situations. Like, I completely understand.
Yeah.
Like, poor... And then she ended that group date. She came back and she's like, I have nothing else to say. I'm going to go home. No one gets the group date rose. I was like, okay, good for you. But yeah, I thought that was really weird. And poor Hunter probably thought he got the rose, went outside, and then got sent home. I was like, poor guy. What a shame. And then our last one-on-one date. Okay, did you see... It was with Connor B. Did you see what happened coming with Connor B? I kind of did.
Okay, so I'm so used to bachelorettes sending people home outside of rose ceremonies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's something they do all the time. But Katie, like, hasn't
done it yet.
Done that at all.
Oh, well, she did it with Cody, but that was because of the drama way back in the beginning.
Yeah. So she hasn't really done that to the level that some of these other bachelorettes have done.
Yeah.
And so it's so funny. Like, I'll be sitting there and I'm like, oh, he's going home. She's sending him home. And then they'll end up making out and everything's fine. And I'm like, well, I missed that mark. Like, so I don't know. I guess I was so used to being wrong that I didn't see it coming.
Oh, yeah. So he gets the one-on-one, and it was a cute idea to have like a double date with Caitlin and Jason, who I love. And that was fun. It was fun to see the dynamic. I think it was solely because Katie was trying to figure out how her friends felt about Connor or not. But you could tell for a while now that Katie has started to kind of get the ick, what people say, with Connor. And when she said the kissing was the issue, I was like, we've all been saying that, honey. Like, the kissing is a little aggressive. Like, it's a little much. And I really felt for Katie. I have been in this situation where there's a guy that's just
marks all the boxes, is perfect, but there's just not that passion and just not those like romantic feelings there, and it sucks. Like,
yeah,
you're like this, you're mad because you're like, it should work. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why isn't the feelings there? Mm-hmm. And you can't even tell the person really reasons why, and it's just it's awful. So I really felt for her, and I really felt bad for Connor. Like, he was kind of blindsided, but he handled it like I was crying. Like, he handled it like a champ. Like, as soon as she comes in and is like crying, he knew immediately.
Yeah.
And they like sat down and he was like, it's okay. Like, I know you don't have to say it. Like, it's fine. I understand. It was like, oh my gosh, was like comforting her. It was a great, what a stand-up guy. Like, wasn't mad, wasn't asking like what he did wrong, like was just very like, I understand, it's okay. She told him about the kissing. I felt really bad. I was like, poor guy. Oh my gosh. But yeah.
That was so sad. I was like, the cat guy.
Oh. Yeah, he's so cute, and he is going to be in paradise, so that's good. But I think he's just, I hope he shows up with the cat.
That'd be awesome.
He's got to have bathing suit with like cats on them or something. Like, there has to be some kind of reference. And that could be his opening, as being like a cat. Or perfect. Or kissing. One of those. Terrible. But yeah, it was really sad. But it's okay. He was a sweet guy. He went, but when he went back to you could tell he's a good guy because all the guys were like sobbing.
Yeah.
And shocked. I was like, oh no. Yeah, they were like hugging. There's all these clips of like Michael A. like kissing him on the cheek after they were like hugging and stuff. Like, it was just really precious. Like, everyone was really sad. And that's what you want to see. Like, you want to see these guys like he's a good person. I just thought that was really sweet.
Who was it? Was it Trey that was like just boo-hooing?
Yes. He was sobbing.
He was so upset. I was like, wow.
All the other guys were like upset, but Trey was like, you could see like he was like sobbing, like just sitting there like crying. I'm sure it's a shock. Like, even Hunter said that like, oh, me, Greg, and Connor B are in the top 4. And I think it did exactly letting him go back to say goodbye to the guys, because we don't really see that. Like, they often don't let the contestants go back. I think it was exactly what the producers wanted, to kind of like scare these guys a bit. Like, this is someone that everyone was so confident in, and he got sent home. And now everyone, I think someone even said it, like, now none of us know really where our relationships are, because he was confident and he got sent home. So yeah, it's whew. Then we have Blake show up, and show up to Katie, which was really cute, with the boombox, and it was playing the song that they danced to. I think that's what it was supposed to be. She got over Connor real quick, because they were like making out like crazy. Yeah. They were like up against the walls. I was like, what is that? What am I watching? Like, it was nuts. What do you think? You were on when Blake showed up, right? Or did he show up after? He might have showed up. I don't remember. But what do you think about Blake?
Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry. I was like, wait.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was.
Okay. So much has happened.
He had a really... I thought it was interesting that they kept focusing on him with the challenge.
Oh, yes. We need to talk about that.
It was like all about him. And I was like, I kind of get that, because that goes along with his character from the previous season.
Yeah.
But like, it was so weird. But then with Katie, he's like, I haven't. A whole day.
So awkward. I was like, why are we talking about this? And then after they like made out and they left. They had like the sprinkler, like they showed the door closing and the sprinkler, and I was like, I don't need to see this. I don't want to insinuate that's what's happening. Like, ew. Like, I did not like that very much. Let's talk about, they called it the whoa, right?
Yeah.
Week off, whack off, wank off, something like that. They kept blurring it, which I was like, can you not say wank off?
Yeah, right.
TV, like I was like, okay, that's weird. I didn't really like this. It was really weird to me. It was really weird. I've seen a lot of people kind of upset, especially like the double standard of it. Like, there's no way a bachelor could ask girls like not to do that. Like, it was just very weird. And for me, and I've seen other people say it, like, it really kind of feeds into that stereotype of like men are so sex driven and it's all they can think about. And really like kind of hurting the idea of like, in a way, like women aren't and women shouldn't be because it's a man thing to be so sexually driven. Like, it was just really weird for me, especially coming from Katie, where it kind of, I guess it's back and forth on if she came up with the idea, but it really seems like she did, where it was just really like, you're sex positive and all this stuff. You brought a dildo on your first night. And I know like maybe you thought it'd be kind of funny, but like it was really weird. Like, it was really weird for her to bring it up and be like, don't do it for a week and I'll see if you can. And even when they would say like, oh, your challenge, we haven't done it, she'd be like, oh, I'm kind of offended that you haven't done it. And I guess that means I'm not that sexy or whatever to you. And I was like, what are you trying to prove? I'm very confused. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it rubbed me the wrong way. I also just kind of felt bad for the guys too. Like, they didn't sign up for this. This isn't too hot to handle. Like, this isn't, they don't win the challenge. Like, it was just, it was very weird to me.
Especially with, like you said, her whole like sex positivity thing, you know, like, and then to say that. And so it kind of contradicts. It's very contradictory. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, it was very weird. I don't think we needed it at all. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why they even had to include it. It was just weird. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she has come out and said like that was her idea. So I think she meant it more maybe like a joke or something fun. But I think in hindsight, it was just like, I just want to pretend that these guys aren't doing that. I don't need to be told that they are. I was like, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, was there anything else about this episode? I think we've covered.
I thought it was strange how, so when Blake came in with the boombox, and when he put it on the ground, kicked it over as he was walking, and then like just kept going, and it was like muffled against the ground. The music was still playing, and I was like, what? Like, that's so weird.
It was really weird. Why did he do like a say anything moment? Is that her favorite movie? Did he just want to be cheesy? Did the producers do it? Was a little weird. Now thinking about it, it was sweet.
But it was similar to what he did with Claire when he showed up on that group date.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't his group date, and everybody got real upset about it. And so it's not that it's Katie, that's who he is.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. After the dodgeball date or one of the dates, he went and showed up on the date that wasn't his. That's right. Yeah, that's what Blake just does. I think he has really good sexual chemistry with Katie, though, more than
that's true.
He did with anyone else. So
right, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit better. We have 7? I think we have 7 guys left. So next week will be the slimming it down to our final 4. This season is going by really fast. Like, really, really fast. We were saying, like, how is it already? Because they were in the episode, someone was like, yeah, in 2 weeks is hometowns. And I was like, how are we there already? Like, I feel like maybe because we're not traveling, like, I've started rewatching some old seasons and they just feel so much longer. And yeah, it's got to be because we're not traveling and we're just in the same location, just trying to struggle to find dates to do every week. Like, yeah, I was like, we're already at that point.
And also, I don't feel like there's anyone yet that really sticks out to me. With her, like, there's no obvious, like front runner.
Yeah, I feel like she really likes Michael A, Andrew S, Greg. I think Greg is still. I think she's really into Greg the most. She gives him what we see a little bit more gratification than she gives the other guys, but that's just what we see because I think they're really building up that Greg, because every episode Greg keeps talking about how this is a weird process for him. He's not used to it. He thinks he's going to leave. I'm like, yeah, you and everyone else is not used to this kind of process. I think they're trying to set up that Greg is going to leave or want to go home. Kind of like Brendan with Tayshia, but they never set up that Brendan was going to leave with Tayshia. So I don't know. Like, I just thought, I don't know. Greg's just brings it up every episode. Like, every time he talks to her. Greg's a little weird to me. I still don't love him, especially when he was talking to her on the date and was saying stuff like, yeah, I just can't read you. I can't tell, like, your feelings. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it is so obvious that she's so into you more than anyone else. Like, don't like Greg. But, yeah, but other than that, and Blake, I can't really tell which one that she would want to marry. Like, if it's more than just that physical connection this far in, which is fun. That keeps it exciting. It was kind of the same with Tayshia. I think Tayshia, I felt like she had a lot of different connections, and it wasn't till the really end that I was like, oh yeah, her and Zach are are it. So I guess we'll see. Anything else? Any last thoughts?
About this episode? No. I do have one thought.
Yes.
So Greg was the one on the fishing date, correct?
Yes.
So I thought it was strange on that date, just going back to him for a second, how when they're by the lake and she says that she lost her father a few years before, he didn't say anything about his father. But then they go to dinner and she brings it up again, and then he says
I said the stuff about him. Thing. I said the exact same thing. That it was so weird that he, like, didn't even make a little inkling, like, oh yeah, my dad passed away too when I was young. It wasn't until later when they sit down and he goes into it and starts crying, which I'm not saying he was faking it, but it was just very, like, manipulative to me, like, very planned out. Like, it was weird. Even when she was talking, I remember thinking, like, when she was telling him about her dad, he was kind of like, yeah, yeah. Like, it was just very, like, you know, when your brain's on, like, autopilot sometimes and someone's talking to you and you just kind of get used to saying, like, oh yeah, like, just giving these responses, but you're not paying attention. That's how it felt like when he would talk to her.
So I totally see what you mean. Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think he's really that into her, but I don't think he wants to leave. Like, yet. Not yet. I don't know. I just don't think he's there for the right reason. But I think he'll go far. I think he's gonna go far because I think she's really into him. Poor girl. But yeah, that's next week. We'll get down to 4. Our final 4. I honestly don't even know. I think it's going to be Greg, Blake, Andrew S, and someone else. I don't know.
But the commercial for next week was crazy. They made it sound like Blake said that he didn't love her.
Yeah.
course,
I don't know.
Who knows if that's really what happens? They like to, splice things together. But that was weird to me. I was like, Blake seems to be pretty invested, but
yeah, we're gonna have a lot of heartbreak next episode. I think lots of crying. She says the season gets crazy and has an unconventional ending, which I don't know what that means. So this will be. I'm excited. I'm excited for the drama to keep going.
Woo!
Woo woo! But thank you so much for coming back and being with me, so I wasn't alone.
Absolutely.
Where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Alia Morgaine. And if you're interested in queer Star Wars, you can find me on YouTube at Afra's Artifacts.
I love it. And you can find me on Twitter at SCBuck. It's on the screen. And then you can also find the show at Go Get That Rose on Twitter as well. And you can follow the JCast Network on Twitter as well. I always forget what the plug. It's fine. We have the Star Wars show every Friday, 6:30. I will probably be back this week. I don't know. We'll see. But until then, we'll be back next week to recap the next episode. I cannot wait. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.